A winged altarpiece, often referred to as a folding altar or winged retable, represents a very special kind of religious artwork prominent throughout Northern and Central Europe. The defining feature is a central image, which could be an elaborate painting or detailed relief sculpture, capable of being completely hidden away by sturdy hinged wings. If the structure includes exactly two movable panels flanking the center, it receives the specific technical classification of a triptych, originating from the ancient Greek word for triple fold. For structures that feature four panels, the term pentaptych is sometimes used, though this specific nomenclature is actually quite rarely encountered in contemporary English art history discussions. When an altarpiece possesses four or even more hinged sections, the more encompassing term polyptych becomes the correct technical descriptor, derived from the Greek word meaning manifold. It was a very common artistic decision to adorn both the inner and the outer surfaces of these articulating wings with rich, detailed iconography. This dual treatment cleverly enabled the altarpiece to display two completely different and often thematically different visual narratives, depending on its state of being open or closed. The established religious custom generally dictated that the wings should remain closed during normal weekly worship, only being opened for the grand celebrations of Sundays or major feast days. However, it was quite often the case that a helpful sacristan would swing the wings open for visiting tourists at any time, usually in exchange for a small, modest monetary tip. Wealthy private patrons also commissioned smaller winged paintings, usually in the convenient triptych format, specifically for performing personal devotional services within their own homes. These private devotional pieces offered a distinct practical advantage, because the open artwork remained adequately protected when the owner needed to cover it up while traveling from place to place. This particular fascinating artistic form achieved its absolute peak popularity across Europe during the later years of the medieval period, and continued strongly into the period known as the Northern Renaissance. Later, in the 17th century, the immensely famous and influential Flemish Baroque painter, Peter Paul Rubens, was one of the very last major European artists to create significant works utilizing this elaborate, folding format. Interestingly, this specialized style of hinged altarpiece never quite caught on or became as widely popular in Italy as it did further north, despite Italy's wealth of grand polyptychs. The numerous Italian polyptychs were usually constructed without any hinges, meaning they were always permanently open to the viewer, even if images did exist on the reverse side. Consider Duccio's magnificent Maestà for the Siena Cathedral, which, despite having images on the back, was built as a fixed structure rather than a folding one. Positioned high above the main body of the retable, one might find the decorative superstructure, which often included pinnacles, small spires, and sculpted floral elements crowning the piece. Furthermore, any sacred relics associated with the altar would typically be housed securely beneath the main surface, placed inside a specialized reliquary built into the predella section resting directly on the altar stone.